Okay, class. So, we completed the warm up using our prior knowledge. We built on that prior knowledge with the crash course video and reading from the textbook. Now it's time to apply this knowledge. Now, if you look in front of you, you'll see today's assignment, which is a learning menu. Now, learning menus are great because they give you lots of different options of how to apply the knowledge you've just gained and really allow you to build on your strengths. So I'm going to take some time now to go through the learning menu with you so you have a good understanding of the different assignments and what I'm expecting from each of those assignments. So let's take a look. The learning menu is broken up into 3 sections. You'll see an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. Now each section is going to get a little harder and ask a little more from you. So, if you look at the appetizer section, we're really just looking to test your ability to remember the information. So, we've got 3 choices. You can create flashcards, you can create a table, or you can draw a map. Now, if you create flashcards, I'd like you to create flashcards with the different resources that were exchanged on one side of the flashcard. On the other side of the flashcard, I'd like you to write the region that exported the resource and the region that imported the resource on the other side. So, for example, if sugar is the resource on one side of your flashcard, on the other side of the flashcard, you would have exported from the American colonies, imported to Europe. For option 2, what I want you to do is make a table or some kind of graphic organizer with 3 different sections. Section 1 should be the American colonies to Europe. Section 2, Europe to Africa. And Section 3, Africa to the American colonies. Within each of these sections, I'd like you to list as many of resources as you can. I'd like to see at least 4 resources in each section. For option 3, I'd like you to draw a map. Now, this does not need to be some beautiful work of art, but it does need to be detailed. So, what I'm asking for on the map is each of the 3 regions, the American colonies, Europe, and Africa, the Atlantic Ocean, and the trade routes between the 3 regions. Along those trade routes, I'd like to see the resources that traveled. So you can write these along the trade route, or you may draw pictures of the resources if you're feeling extra fancy. But again, they don't need to be masterpieces. They just need to be good enough that I know what they are. So those are your options for the appetizer. Now, once you complete the appetizer section, what you'll do is you'll come to me, I'll mark you off that it's done, and I'll give you a grade for that section. The appetizer section is worth 10 points. So moving to the entree section, this is where I really want you to, apply what you've learned and really expand on it. So, the entree section, you have 2 choices. You can write a newspaper article, or you can create a PowerPoint. So, if you create a newspaper article, what I'd like you to do is pick one of the different trade routes and write from the perspective of someone in that time period interacting with that trade route. I'd like you to write about the economic impacts that trade route had on one of the regions and really take a deep dive into how the transatlantic trade affected your region and its economy. Now, for the second choice, create a PowerPoint, what I'd like you to do is create a PowerPoint that compares the different regions and the trade routes that link them. After you compare them, I want you to analyze the economic impact that the transatlantic trade and the triangle trade system had on each region. Again, once you complete this section, I'd like you to come to me, I'll check it for completeness, and I'll give you a grade. The entree section is worth 20 points. It's the largest section, grade point-wise. The final section is the dessert section. Now again, for the dessert section, you have two choices, and this is where I really want you to think about the concepts involved and really create your own application for the information now. So if you look, you've got two choices. You can create peer questions, or you can design your own triangle. Now, for the peer questions, what I'd like you to do is create 4 multiple choice questions that you could imagine would be on a test or quiz on this subject that you are going to give to a peer. Now, these questions need to be based around the economic impacts of triangle trade. You know, think about how the triangle trade system affected the plantation system, the plantation economies in the colonies, how it affected demand for luxury goods in Europe, how it affected slavery in the Americas. There's lots of different options for how you can apply this information and create your own multiple choice questions. Now the other option is a creative option, something where you can really get imaginative and apply what you've learned. So in this section, I'd like you to design your own triangle trade system. So based on what you've learned about how the triangle trade in the Atlantic affected the different regions, the American colonies, Europe, and Africa, I want you to take that information and create your own triangle trade network. This could be something you see in modern times, a real world example that's applicable. It could be something in your own experience, some relationships you see in your life that have their own trade networks, or it can be your own created, imagined network. Now, again, I want you to, in this assignment, to demonstrate the interconnectedness of the economies and how a trade network affects each region's economy. Again, when you complete this section, you'll come to me, I'll check it for completeness, and give you a grade. That final section, the dessert section, is worth 10 points. Now, once you complete the whole learning menu, I'd like you to sit, relax, go back through your information, and wait till we do our closing questions. If you have any questions at any time, please just raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to help. You'll see I'll be floating around the room, helping out anyone who has any questions or seems to be stuck. And really, this is your opportunity to have fun with it. The learning menu is designed to give you lots of different options. It's designed to be fun and really work to your strengths. So, get creative, have fun with it. If you have any questions, please let me know. This should be a fun assignment. Remember to focus on the economic impacts of the triangle trade system. The first section, not as important. This is really just to get your mind thinking about the different goods that are traveling between the different regions. Get you remembering, what's happening between these areas, why and what's going between each region. Second section is really where you're thinking about, how these resources that are exchanged affect each region's economy. What kind of, choices are these regions making because of this trade? The final section is where you really get to create your own and apply what you've learned to create your own examples of this economic impact. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Let's have fun.